Hey guys, it's Kendra. Today I'm here to do a video on organizing. I recently did a video on decluttering. I would recommend watching the decluttering video first because it makes your life a lot easier once you only have the things around you that you need. Then you can really organize everything, put it in place. This video is going to be on habits, so little tips and tricks that you can do on a daily basis to keep your home clean, because the thing that I've realized lately is I used to be the person who would kind of leave stuff all over the place all day long, and then I would do a deep clean either at night or a couple days later, and it would just get to the point of out of control, and I would have to do like this. It would take so much time to do this big clean. I think I got to a point where I felt like I was cleaning all the time. I felt like I was wasting my time, and it never felt like anything around me was ever clean. Like it was this endless cycle. I've come up with 10 things that have really helped me maintain a clean home. So I hope you guys enjoy this. This stuff is life-changing. Well, it's kind of dramatic, but to me it kind of is, because I'm home all day long. I work from home. I'm home with my 2 girls. So being at home needs to be a peaceful place. It needs to be a motivating place, somewhere where I can be productive, get things done, and having just clutter and stuff out of place is just not good for me. So with that said, let's get started. My first tip is everything needs to have a place. When you walk around your home and you see a couple things on the dining table, you see something in the kitchen, you should recognize that it's out of place. I think that's a really good place to start, because if you don't know where something belongs, either you don't need it or you need to find a place for it. So for me, I try to kind of assign a spot for everything. It needs to have a room and also a place in that room. So you can't just say, oh, that just needs to go in the bedroom. You should have a specific place where that goes. So for example, hair ties. I have hair ties all around the house. So what I do now is I have a drawer in the bathroom. That's my hair drawer. And there's one little cubby and all of my hair ties go in there. So if I ever find a hair tie, a bunch of them laying around the house, I always take them to that spot. And that way you know where everything is. Because can you think of the amount of times where you're looking for something, you're like, I need a bobby pin. Where the heck are my bobby pins? I know I have a million of them. Or you don't know where the tape is. You're trying to mail a package and you can't find the packing tape. So that will save you so much time, just knowing that everything has a place and that hopefully everything is going to be in that place when you need it. I think you need to visualize your house at its peak, kind of at the cleanest state that it can be in. And then when you're walking around your house, you need to just kind of notice these things that don't belong there. And I think it should bother you too. I mean, obviously, if you guys are watching this video, you care about getting your life in order and being a more organized person. So seeing things out of place should trigger something in you that kind of is irritating, and you're like, I know that doesn't belong there, and that's just kind of how I think about it. My next tip is to never leave a room empty-handed. This is a huge one for me, and this is something that I do all day long, all the time. So I was trying to explain this to Andrew the other day too, and he's like, what are you talking about? So if you're in the bedroom and you're going into the kitchen, maybe there is a coffee cup in the bathroom still, or a glass of water that you need to put in the dishwasher. Never leave a room without anything, because you can bring it back to where it belongs. That's a waste of a trip then, in my head, if you're not bringing anything with you. Another thing is, if there's nothing in the room that you're currently in that needs to go somewhere else, on your way to wherever you're walking, grab something. This happens a lot if I'm in the kitchen, in the living room, and I need to run to the playroom for something, the bedroom, whatever. I will kind of do a quick glance around the room, see what doesn't belong there and see what's not in its place, and then bring that with me to wherever I'm going. And you can bring a couple things. So I'll grab like dirty clothes, I'll grab a pair of shoes that don't belong, and then as I'm walking to where I need to go in the house, I kind of drop those off where they belong. My number 3 tip is to only touch things once. This is my favorite thing ever, because once I heard this from a podcast actually, and she was talking about if you are relocating things all over the place, then you're wasting your time, and it's pointless. The second you see something that doesn't belong there, let's say it's a pair of shoes for your kids and they belong in their bedroom. If you're gonna pick them up and put them in the dining room, then you have to take another trip to take them into their room later on that day or later on whenever. Just think every time you are touching something, you have to put it back where it belongs, or else don't touch it in the first place. If you don't have time to bring it back where it belongs, then leave it there until you can. It seems like such a little thing, but honestly now I always am thinking this way, and it's huge. And I know I've said this a ton, but we think we're saving ourselves time when we just drop it off somewhere real quick and we're like, I don't have time for that, I'll just do it later. But when you have to leave something for later, and when it's a lot of different items, then that is creating all this clutter in your head, and you're like getting this anxiety because you know you have to put all this stuff away eventually. Another thing that I started to do more often now is whenever the girls drink their bottles, I would just put the bottles in the sink, and I'm like, I'll get to it. But now, the second I pick their bottles up from the living room, I clean them out and I put them on the drying rack, and it's done. So then when I have to get their bottles later in the day, I'm not having to clean them out, because that is the worst when you have to clean something out that's been sitting there. Touch it once, put it where it needs to go, and then just be done with it. My number 4 tip is to clean little bits throughout the day. Even if you don't have a ton of time to get something done, 5 minutes is actually a lot of time to get something done. So say the girls are eating lunch, I'll put away the dishes on the drying rack. Don't feel like you have to clean the entire kitchen. And don't think of it as an all or nothing. Like, I don't have time to clean this entire kitchen, so I'm just not going to do it. Instead, just try to think of it as, let me just do a little bit, because once I can get to more of it, then I'll have less to do. Another thing is, when we're in the playroom, I'll try to tidy up like before we're leaving, so that I don't have to get to it later. So say it's like, okay, we're going to have dinner and the playroom is a disaster, because that's what happens when they play in it. I will just try to slowly pick stuff up before I leave, and it's just done. Having twins has made me realize how long 10 minutes actually is. You can get so much done in 10 minutes. So if you just do little things throughout the day, it's gonna keep everything a little bit more in order and not feel like it's chaos. My number 5 tip is to take advantage of the nighttime. This is especially true if you guys have kids, because once the kids go to sleep, my girls go to bed around 7:30, 8. That's a couple hours right there before Andrew and I go to sleep that we can get some things done. And I think you should really know yourself, because I know myself. And if I sit down on the couch right when they go to sleep, then I'm done for the night and I'm just watching my shows and eating chips and salsa. I just have to tell myself, you're not sitting down on the couch until the kitchen's clean, until you put the toys away, or maybe cleaned up my room a little bit, just little things, because then it makes the rest of the night so much better. Then you can fully relax, and then when you wake up in the morning, it's not this burden of, oh my gosh, I forgot to do the dishes last night. You know, that is the absolute worst. I know some people don't care. Andrew doesn't really care about dishes left in the morning, but that is my biggest, I don't want to say pet peeve, but it's just like, it stresses me out. Going to sleep with a clean kitchen is important to me, because when I wake up, I feel like I can start the day fresh. I don't have to feel like I'm wasting time doing stuff that I could have done the night before. My number 6 tip is to listen to a podcast or a YouTube video while you're cleaning. This is super important to me, because I am the type of person who, I don't like to waste time, and things like folding the laundry they just take up time, but you're not really gaining much out of it. So I recently started to put on podcasts while I put away laundry, or just do little things during the day, and it makes me feel like I'm gaining something out of it. I'm not just, you know, doing like these mindless tasks. I'll put a couple that I like down below. I like motivating podcasts, things that are going to encourage me and just be helpful for my personal life, my business, that kind of thing. But watching a video or listening to a podcast makes those things a little bit more enjoyable too. Who wants to just clean dishes? You know, it's the worst. So sometimes I'll just stick my phone by the sink a little further away so I don't get water all over it, and I'll play a video. So, like, I'll watch somebody's empties or something like that. It makes the time go faster, and it's way more enjoyable. Number 7 is to have people over more often, or pretend like people are coming over. If we have people coming over, the 10 minutes before anybody shows up, I can clean and organize so much you'll never believe. Like, it is out of control. I'm gonna rearrange stuff around the house. When you have a little bit of pressure behind you and you know somebody's coming over, it kind of gives you that kick that you need to just get it done, instead of just thinking, okay, well, nobody's coming, who cares, nobody's gonna see this mess. Another thing that helps too is we're having our master bathroom renovated right now. It's way under construction, and so we have people coming over every now and then to do little things to it. So what's happened a couple of times is people are coming over to work on certain things, and I have like a 10-minute warning from Andrew because maybe we didn't tell each other, or I wasn't listening, or whatever the case. So when that does happen and your house is a mess, it's like, are you kidding me? It's like panic mode. And I'm sure some of you don't really care about that when people come over. You don't really care that your house is that clean. But I have to have a clean house when people come over. To me, it's like a sense of pride. And since I work from home, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I think that my home is what I really value. So I want to show people that, and I want them to know that as well. So if somebody ever comes over, my house is a disaster, I think it's a reflection of myself. I also feel like when you have people over, you tend to clean different areas of your house that you normally wouldn't. I always walk through the front door when we're having people over before they come over, and I just kind of walk in like people would and just take a glance, because that way you see different things that maybe you don't see just every day, and you kind of, I don't know, you just tend to clean differently. Okay, number 8 is use up your smaller items first. Now this is kind of like the snowball effect. If you guys ever follow Dave Ramsey, he is a finance guy, and Andrew and I follow his tactics, if you will, on budgeting and getting out of debt, because we have a lot of debt from Andrew's student loans from physical therapy school. So we do a lot of the things that he says to do, and one of the things that he says, this is, I'll show you how this relates, but it's called the snowball effect. So you pay off your smaller debts first, and then you go to the bigger debts. So say you have 3 credit cards, you want to pay off the smallest one first, then get rid of it, then move on to the next, because it's a lot less daunting than doing just little payments on this huge credit card. If you get rid of one of them, then you only have 2. You know what I mean? I have kind of applied that to my beauty closet. I know, right? So if you guys are like me and you have a lot of different moisturizers, face masks, toothpaste, it doesn't have to be beauty products. Sometimes you can start one, use half of it, and then you jump on to the next. Before you know it, you have 5 different serums that are all open, and you're using them at the same pace, so they're going down at the same pace, so then you just are never using them up. Say I have something like toothpaste, and I have a full size toothpaste and a small one. I want to use that small one up first, so then I can get rid of one more product, and then I'm just down to 1. And this can be applied to cleaning supplies. If you have 3 different all-purpose sprays open, use the one that has the least amount of product and just focus on using that one up, and then get rid of it, and then you just have 2. Instead of using 3 equally, you're never going to get rid of any of them. This way you're just maintaining your amount of products, and you're not keeping unnecessary things in your house. Okay, number 9 is to fold your clothes. I used to not be a clothes folder, but ever since I read the book, The KonMari Method, the magic something of tidying up, it changed my thought process on folding clothes. Now I look at it as I'm taking care of my clothes. You want to only have things that you really like. If you don't like them, then get rid of them, donate them, sell them, whatever. You want to keep the things around you, things that bring you joy. If you're just shoving your clothes into a drawer, it's not really taking pride in what you own. So I really have found that folding my stuff keeps it looking better, and it keeps my mind a little bit more organized, because I know where everything is. I can see everything. If you guys haven't read the book, it is amazing. And the way she folds clothes is different than a typical way that most people fold clothes. It's kind of like it's like an accordion almost. And everything is laying upright so you can see everything instead of being on top of each other, because that way you only see the thing that's on top. The way she folds is like this. So when you look down into your drawer, you see all of your shirts, you see all of your shorts. And it saves a ton of space. But I really think that folding clothes keeps everything else in order. The other day, my workout clothes were kind of out of control and I was like, I need to just stop and fold these clothes back up, and it just makes everything so much better. My number 10 tip is to just cut yourself some slack. I think sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to keep everything so clean, and if it's not, then we think we're the worst and we think, oh my gosh, my life is out of control. I can't keep anything organized. But the thing is, life happens and kids happen and work. It's hard to be perfect. You can't be perfect all the time. Your home can't be perfect all the time. Also, if you have that expectation of everything looking perfect, that's really overwhelming, and it's a huge expectation. It's just like a lot to handle. But I also try not to make excuses, because as much as we don't want to clean all the time, it really has a huge impact on so many aspects of your life. And I'm talking from personal experience, but if my house is really clean and organized, I feel so much lighter. I feel so much more inspired. I can do more. I'm more productive. I'm happier. I have more energy. It's really weird how the space around you really mimics how you actually feel. And let me just say that I do not do these things all the time. These are things that I try to do all the time. Do I do them all the time? No, of course not. But there are things that I'm always trying to do to make myself better and to, be just an overall more organized person. If you guys like videos like this and enjoy watching things on motivation, things to inspire you, let me know, because I love stuff like this. This is my jam. So thank you all for watching, and thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today. I hope you guys are all motivated to get your life a little bit more organized, and that's it for today. So I will talk to you very soon.